All right, hang tight, everybody. We're going live here.
Be better camera shot.
We are live on YouTube.
Oh, and what are we live on?
We're live on YouTube over here. YouTube. We are on Facebook right there. We got a little Instagram going on over here. Instagram, you might want to. Can you tweak Instagram while we're going on this?
Tweak this.
So we just watched Preacher, season 3, episode 2. A lot of fun stuff in that. Overall, initial response from the episode, guys.
Great, fantastic.
Yeah.
I
mean, of course, we're going to say that in front of.
Well, we were talking about it actually. We were talking about this season seems to be each of our favorites.
Are you hitting puberty right now?
I did. I'm growing hair in funny places.
This episode made of a man.
I hit puberty. Let me show you guys.
I don't need to see that.
It was weird. Just kinds of
bodies going through changes.
No, but it seems like I'm like these episodes a ton. Like the directing is just superb.
Michael Slovis directed the first 2 episodes. He's one of the executive producers. He's also the producing director. And he and Sam Catlin had probably more to do. You know, we talked a lot about exactly who Jody was and who he needed to be and try to stay true to the graphic novel and everything. But yeah, I can't say enough good about Michael Slovis.
And you being a fan of the graphic novel from before you got into this, like, I don't know if we talked about the last time. Do you feel like they do a good job? Like the script, I mean, obviously across the board, like there's a lot of people involved in a collaboration like this. So does the character get lost, or does that all feed into it?
No, I think they're doing a magnificent job. I mean, this isn't a comic book. This is like a live action thing. Yeah. And I think they're doing a remarkable job with the source material and putting it in a blender and coming up with their own thing. I do think that so far, season 3 is the most like the graphic novel, you know, and I'm really digging it. First, of course, I haven't seen the episodes. I watch them with everybody else.
Why would you say it's more like the graphic novel? What's different?
We're getting into a lot of the characters and a lot of the themes that were preeminent in the graphic novel.
I think too, the
more so. I mean, season 1 and 2 certainly were like that, but season 1 was almost like a. Derek's a big fan. It was almost like a introduction to the characters before we actually headed into more graphic novel territory.
And it was short. It was like 6 episodes. They just kind of threw everything in that first season, and now you're getting the breakdowns of the characters a little bit more and getting them deeper. And the mood, the way they've made Angelville and kind of the way it feels this season is just it feels like classic Preacher to me.
Yeah, no, and it feels that way to me too, delightfully. You know, and you know, I'm not completely objective because I was on the set shooting all that stuff, but it's really a joy to see everybody's work.
Yeah,
you know? It's like and see how it's all been cut together and everything. It's really cool.
You know, I noticed today that what's Colin Cunningham's character?
TC.
TC caught me off guard based on what I saw last week. I just didn't get to see him hit his stride yet. And we saw one scene where I thought, okay, he just won me the freak over. He did so good. It was a scene where he's sitting with Cassidy.
Talking about his dream.
Yeah. I mean, it was so subtle and could have been taken way over the top, but he didn't. He held back. I mean,
that was amazing about the performance. He made you love that character, and he's into describing a sexual assault. And he's like, that's an amazing monologue he's made.
No, I mean, it was killer, and you know, just the way those 2 guys were playing off each other too. I thought it was. The scene said so many things at the same time. Yeah.
Casting for this season is just terrific. I think we mentioned that last week, but gosh, everybody's just great.
I feel like this episode too, like we mentioned this earlier, everybody kind of got a chance to show off a little bit. It seemed like everybody who was on screen had at least a moment where they got so nobody was wasted. You know, even in the flashback, you know, like the characters that seem very incidental, you know, even those are like they give them a lot of weight.
Hey, I just want to say real quick, if you come on at any point and you have a question, just toss it out there and we'll try to see it and respond to it. We are the Nether Region channel, and we're just taking some time.
We should have started with that.
Week.
Who are these people?
Right, in case you come in late.
But
we're just wanting to talk about Preacher.
So I'm Josh.
Yeah.
This is Jeremy. You guys know Jeremy if you're watching Preacher. We got Derek and we got Chris.
And we are
the Nether region. We nailed it that time.
Good job.
So some of us nailed it. So you said one of the scenes that you shot today was the first thing you ever shot on set.
Yeah, the scene where I blow up the beer can with the grenade launcher was the first thing
that's
I shot.
day one of his job.
And honestly, I was pretty terrified going into it. And Ruth Nega is the coolest. It was really nice to be able to start off working with her because I just connected with her, and she's a lovely, lovely person. Of course, an incredible actress, but she just is kind of magical. And that was really nice. As a matter of fact, we got done with the scene, and I said, "Yeah, I'm a preacher." And the crew all clapped. Everybody was happy. And then I spent the next 2 or 3 weeks thinking, "Oh, I hope I don't get kicked off." And then after a few episodes down, I'm like, "Okay, I think I'm good."
At this point, it'd be too expensive to replace you. So.
Yeah, right.
They're already going.
I've fooled them long enough for it to not be cost effective for them to replace me. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to comicbook.com for the podcast they did with you as well. That's awesome.
Was it a podcast? It was a video that they shot.
They called it a podcast, or am I mixing it with?
I think you're mixing it with
You're mixing it with Time of the Preacher.
Sorry.
Which
another shout out, Time of the Preacher.
Yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate it. That was really fun listening to that. We wish you guys well, and hopefully you're still enjoying the shows.
Yeah.
All right, so you had that scene where you got to blow up a fence with a rocket launcher, which
and
was a great scene.
I really did. The guy who was in charge of all the arms came up to me and he said, "Here's your rocket launcher." I'm like, "Okay." He said, "Don't worry, it's only a half load." I'm like, "Okay."
Wow, that's
it was cool. I just shoot it.
So they're all real guns.
Yeah, they're real guns. Everything was a real gun. Yeah.
Everything's real, just with fake bullets.
With blanks. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, try to get away from my microphone. Sorry's trying to get
a dog breathing in the mic.
Hey, so
matter of fact, that scene where I come in and I open up my tarp and it's got all the weapons in it, and
be a star, sir.
And I went over to I think it was Michael, and said, "What do I pick? Which one is Jody's?" And they're like, "Whatever you want." So I took Winchester and I'm gonna play John Wayne.
Nice.
So
that's pretty.
That was pretty cool because they said action and we're shells flying everywhere. It's pretty cool.
So I noticed during the scene this wasn't a scene that you were in, but I'm sure other scenes are like this with Dominique, Tulip, and Cassidy. They're in that scene on the bed, and Dominique comes in later and he sits with them. There were so many. If you go back and watch that, the amount of detail, different shots. There's an over the shoulder, wide shot, tight shot, angled like 30% off of one character. Flip that, now you got the other person, and when Dom comes in, it's coming across this way, and then there's new shots that are wide shots, and they're doing the triangle with all three. How many? I mean, did they have 1,500 cameras in there, or what?
Well, I wasn't there for that scene, but typically what they would do is they would have 2 different cameras they try to roll at the same time, if they could get the angles right. In a small space like that, it's really hard to have 2 cameras set up without shooting at each other.
Right.
So for all I know, that it was 1 camera setup. But I mean, they would try to have 2 cameras going wherever they could. But they covered. The thing is, they cover Preacher like it's a film. They don't cover it like a TV show.
Right.
They cover it like a film. Every aspect is covered like a film.
Well, that first shot of Hair Star during that gunfight, like that was well choreographed out and like various, like I don't know how long something like that would have taken because it was.
That scene was awesome.
It was all. It was, but it was epic.
Yeah.
And it's like a dance, like somebody had shot a musical number.
Yeah, very much.
All the scenes, even when you have a scene with one character. I can't remember the scene it was. No, she gets up. Tulip gets up and walks over, picks up the dog, and has the flashback. But if you watch like the POV shot they do, there's a slow pan that drifts off. I mean, everything is so. Even when it's not a big fight, everything just feels like poetry in motion or something. Just everything's just moving just the exact right. I mean, it's superbly directed. It's very good. Hey, we got a comment here on Facebook. Let's see what's happening. Evan Taylor Williams says, "Hey, Jeremy, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
What would you say about the most...
Thumbs up to you, too.
What would you say is the most difficult thing about playing Jody on Preacher?" It's a great question.
Most difficult thing about playing Jody? You know, I would work the character and so long and so hard before I ever walked on a set that my goal was always to not be thinking about what I was doing, just sort of reacting to what was going around me. So the most difficult thing, I'm not sure what the most difficult thing was. The fight scenes were always a joy.
Possibly drinking animal remains.
Yeah, that was an easy. The animal remains that was the toughest thing. They weren't really animals.
Drinking blood.
You know what I watched for in
blood.
the scene that you said was the first one, that when you're on set with the gun and everything, I was watching your eyes literally like for that. Like I was thinking if I were on set, I'd be nervous and I might not even be listening. But that was the thing I noticed that you did do, which I would guess is going to be one of the most difficult things, especially on your first day of set. I mean, it's a difficult thing as an actor.
What's
anyway.
that? What's that again?
Just listening and responding, and you were just intensely listening to her talking, and then you responded. It was.
I was saying I was really, because I was nervous going into it. It's like walking on stage for the first time for a show.
Yeah.
You know, you're nervous backstage, you walk on stage and it kind of goes away. And I was really hanging on Ruth. Like I was focused on Ruth because she became my security blanket in a weird way. And it's like, oh, and I just was connecting with her, which made it easy to sort of forget
It was
about.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like
I'm always aware of where the camera is. You have to be aware of where the camera's at, always. When people say film acting or TV acting is about ignoring the camera, that's absolutely not true. That is your scene partner. You don't ignore it. So you have to be aware where that's at. But you can't be obsessed on where that's at.
So the gunfight was not the first day. The scene with Ruth was the first day, but not the full big gunfight you guys did.
No, but I believe that was day 2.
Day 2, gotcha. So we
shot all the stuff in Angelville, which is actually the same mansion they used in Django Unchained. There in New Orleans.
Candyland, I think it was in Django Unchained. They called it.
Yeah. Candyland. Yeah, so we shot all the stuff in Angelville for the first 2 episodes. We shot that consistently.
Gotcha.
So anything in Angelville was probably shot within the first few days.
Yeah. So that was
not the interiors, but the exteriors.
So those are both big scenes featuring Joe. You were all over the episode, but another big episode was a big part of the episode is whenever you were feeding all the animals into the grinder and you had to drink that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then that's the swamp consommé.
Swamp consommé, yeah.
So you said that it wasn't really animals. What was it that you were? Are you allowed to say what it was that you drank?
No. I mean, it was like fruit juice and like berries. And
wasn't kombucha?
It was good.
Sounds quite refreshing, actually.
Yeah. It was very, very, very sweet. Yeah. I drank a lot of it too.
One thing I was noticing, I'm trying to figure out, who Jody is as a character, because I know he is in the graphic novel. This is a different adaptation, a little bit different backstory, even for the family and everything. And it seemed, one thing I noticed this episode is it seemed like he really enjoys when shit gets crazy. That when they capture Featherstone and the other guy's name, I can't remember, her partner, and they're going to go execute him in the swamp. He doesn't have any dog in that fight, but he seems like he's really enjoying what's going to happen. He seems really happy to be marching these people out in the swamp to execute them.
He is very happy.
He smirked in that scene.
He is the most happy when there's chaos going on.
That's what
when there's a threat of violence and chaos is when he's in his element. When that's not going on, he has a hard time being.
So you also said in that scene, you mentioned to us that there was a lot more of riffing on the on the Coen brothers.
Yes. Joe and I had our own little thing going when he comes, because you'll see as we're marching, through the swamp. Featherstone and Julianne and Ruth are at the front, I think.
Yeah.
And then it's me and Joe. Yeah, we had our own little thing going.
Yeah.
But I was hoping they would keep it in, but of course they couldn't for time.
I thought it was a great little Fargo kind of homage to Fargo.
Yeah.
Such a good.
Well, it's a running thing through the series. He keeps bringing that up.
He keeps trashing The Big Lebowski. That's one of my favorite movies.
He hates The Big Lebowski.
Come on, Cassidy.
Yeah.
But loves Miller's Crossing.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Joe
I have
Gilgun
another comment. Let's see.
is a trip, by the way. That guy is such a blast to work with.
Evan,
I mean, they all are.
Evan Taylor Williams says, "Thanks, man. That answers my question in an awesome way. Looking forward to watching you more, man. Your performance is amazing on the show. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah, that's right.
I took that personal. I took that like he said it to me. I was like, hey, thanks, man. Thank you.
I'll pass it on.
Yeah.
Right.
The first scene I shot with Joe and Colin, who played TC, was the gunfight. That was the first time I worked with all of them together, and that was hysterical. It was just hysterical. It's like, I hope they have behind the scenes connection.
We lost Facebook for a second.
Facebook is lost.
That's right.
That's right.
We still got you,
We got YouTube.
and you, Instagram over
Instagram's
there.
never failed us.
No, that's.
Although
They have
sometimes
like
the audio
shot.
doesn't like to sync up.
We give it a short
They
shift.
do this vertical thing, so you can't get a wide shot in it.
Well, keep messing with it. Knock it down. Oh, people are just sitting there watching that. All right. So what else? Obviously that guy never made it to principal.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me that
Pretty dark end.
they didn't take some of his soul from missing payment. They kept him around
Yeah.
for what 10, 15 years it has to be. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming just taking little pieces at a time for the boy.
And took his eye.
Yeah,
Took his eye.
not good. Don't want to miss the payment to grandma.
No, he had a rough day.
Yeah.
That's right. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, it was such a fun episode all around. It's funny. It's a funny show.
It's funny. I think it's. I mean, do you agree? I feel like it's already funnier this season
Yeah,
than it
totally.
has been.
Oh, when they shot the goat. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
wanted to
my
talk about
gosh.
the goat
That was the
cannon.
funniest thing in the world. And TC like, that's a goat.
I mean, I had such a hard time keeping a straight face because I mean, we did a lot of takes. That's a goat, you know.
And then he
Anyway,
describes the goat.
what kind of goat
It's
it
male.
is.
Was that riff? Was that like improv or is that scripted?
No, that's scripted. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. It's
Yeah.
good. Good.
No, excellent writers on the show. There's some funny stuff, man. Some funny stuff coming up too.
Yeah, second season got really big and broad with New Orleans and the Grail stuff, and they're traveling around the world. And I just thought that this would have been really contained so far.
Mhm.
You know, they're in hell and heaven and stuff in the last season. But right now, at least so far, I'm sure it'll blow up. But
Mhm.
right now, we're just really contained in this really dark, sick family comedy almost.
Sure. Dark
with
comedy,
lots
yeah.
of dead bodies getting
Yeah.
thrown in the swamps.
And Betty Buckley, man, is she not dead perfect?
Yeah.
I mean,
She is
she's just
amazing.
pitch perfect, man.
Yeah, she's good.
Perfectly. She is so not like that. Nobody is like anything. We're actors, of course, but everybody is so far away from what they are playing
Yeah.
on this show. Like I've never,
Just
because
probably
you can
good.
see other people's like, yeah, he's not like that, but he's got it. But you can totally see him playing that role. Not in this show. You meet him in real life, and they're like, he's really kind, jovial, funny folks.
Well, I was
Not
thinking
creepy,
about Colin, who plays
Jovial.
TC. His character from Falling Skies, which I love that show, but his Falling Skies character is probably more like your character in this.
Oh, right.
actually.
Yeah.
I mean, not exactly. Obviously, everything's very intricate and specific, but he definitely craves that the chaos that Jody seems to crave.
We died on Facebook.
Just
Yeah.
full blown gone on
Video
Facebook. I'm trying to get back.
ended.
Well, we got a couple more minutes here on YouTube. If we can get Facebook back, you're not gonna try.
I mean,
Try.
I can.
So yeah, final thoughts, final questions, fellas.
I thought it was a great episode. I'm really excited to see where the season goes. I know you can't give anything away. Obviously, we wouldn't want you to, but it's fun to. This is really fun to watch it go.
Yeah.
And I think this show keeps getting better and better as it's going along. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
it's
I'm
exciting. It's exciting to see you on there, man. It's
Good times, man.
Is his top hat going to be a new that we saw in the trailer?
Mhm.
Is that going to be a new thing? Does the preacher just wear a top hat now?
Maybe.
Forever?
that's the new twist they put on it.
Maybe.
He's gonna wear top hat.
Preacher got a top hat.
He's the same as he ever was, only now a little jaunty.
That's right.
Little ratings bump from top
He's a
hat
ring-
alone.
A
He's a
little
ringmaster.
classier.
I can't wait to see. We haven't seen old Art's face and Hitler in a while.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see how they figure into this year's story. So.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for watching. As usual, I must do the rundown. You can follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook.
If you follow us on Facebook, there might be some problems with your video.
Apparently.
It happened last
You may
week
not
too.
see us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram, but any of those places will let you know what we're up to, what's going on. We got some other fun stuff on the horizon that we want to do. And we got some big news on the horizon as well for the Nether region channel as a whole. So stay tuned. Yeah, we're back. So come hang out and be cool. It's cool. We're cool. Be cool. I'll be
All
cool
right.
together.
All right.
It's good seeing you guys again.
All right.
And
See
bye,
you next week.
Instagram.
Say bye.
Bye,
Say-
Instagram.
Instagram is
Bye.
faithful to us.
Bye.
Did I end that?
No, oh, Lordy.